Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It's time to warm the computer. How do I follow that? I thought that the Deputy Minister's speech was fantastic, but I thought his skill to engage with you, the audience, was possibly even more impressive. It's a real skill to be able to connect when you're standing this side of the platform with all you people who have got comfortable chairs, quite relaxed. Some are very, very attentive. Some are perhaps looking at what's happening on the web. Some are going, oh no, not more photographs. So I think I congratulate your Deputy Minister for his skill in engaging with you. So hence, I'm a bit frightened about whether I can actually follow that presentation. But I have a plan, so just to warn you, I will be asking you some questions as I go through that. And I know people from Malaysia are always happy to answer questions. Never feel embarrassed about answering questions in front of their peers. So, my name is Youngson. I'm incredibly honoured to be here. It's a significant moment, and I'm glad that I'm able to play a small part in this. I'm the Chief Executive of IFPSM, and I'm here for the next 30 minutes to really talk about two areas, both of which we cover within our federation. One is I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction to what IFPSM is. First question, how many people before today had heard of IFPSM? Show me your hands. Okay, so I will ask that question at the end of my presentation, and I'd like to think that I get all the hands up in the air at the end of the presentation. So I want to give you a bit of an introduction to what IFPSM is, and also I want to talk a little bit about certification within procurement and supply management, particularly certification of educational programs across the world, which is an area that IFPSM absolutely operates in and hopefully supports the profession. So what is IFPSM? Well, first of all, IFPSM stands for International Federation of Persons Supply Management. We've actually been in operation for 55 years. We came together back in 1973 with a handful of well-established supply chain procurement associations, recognised, and then following what the Deputy Minister was saying earlier on, of the benefits of cooperation, and perhaps not compete but come together and share their knowledge and their best practice. And we've grown from that quite small base. Oh dear. It's working fine here. I can see the slides. There we go. Well, that's gone. There we go. That's better. So it's grown from quite a small base to where we are today, which is an international global organisation which represents 45 national associations from across the world. And I've got some really good news for you. We're now represented by 5 individuals on our board of directors from your region. This is a first. So actually the Asia Pacific region is being now heard more than ever before within the unique global federation for your profession. I've got even better news for you. We've got some of those individuals in this room today. So we've got Mr. Akinet, who's the Regional Vice President for your region, and who sits on the board. We've got Mr. Lin from Taiwan, who sits on the board. Breaking news, we've got Mr. Yang from your own country, who's just joined the board. We also have, who are not here today, we have Mr. Patel from India, and we have Mr. He Living, and I apologise, I'm a classic British person, I struggle over people's surnames, but Mr. He Living from China is also here. So we have 5 members of your region sitting on a global international federation for the profession, which is a major, major change. We celebrated our 100th board meeting
I'm not sure whether the word celebrating a board meeting is the right use of that word. But we certainly hosted our 100th board meeting back in March in Vancouver. If I showed you the makeup of the board back in 1973, it's a massive change in the right direction. So IFPSM, we're here to support, we're here to represent, we're here to facilitate the development of the profession. Second question, I'd like to test your understanding. So I'm using the word profession, I'm using the word procurement, I'm using the word supply management. I'll throw in the word logistic, warehousing. I'd like to get a feel for your roles in your organisations and what functions you believe what profession you believe you're part of. So, how many people would actually describe themselves as purchasing executives? 1. Procurement executives. 2. Okay, supply management. No. So basically, there's a lot of people who are unemployed in this room because I've only seen maybe 4 hands going up. So what's the definition of our profession? Purchasing, procurement, logistics, supply management. That's actually quite a challenge for our profession because everybody in this room has a responsibility for supporting and promoting the strategic benefits of our profession. Now, if we don't know what our profession is called, then that makes it quite harder for us to be successful ambassadors for our profession. I suspect most people in this room play some role in procurement and supply management. But then you need to drill down behind that to fully understand what your specific role is. But it was interesting that there were only 4 people actually put their hands up when I mentioned a range of names. So that's a challenge. Challenge for IFPSM, because we're here to promote the benefits of the profession and facilitate the development of the profession through our network of 45 national associations worldwide. Through our associations, who in turn, they represent individuals. How many members of IFPSM are here in this room? Hands up, please. Now, Mr. Yang, you have a wonderful opportunity here. You need to ensure that you sign these individuals up.
No, you will sign up immediately after this.
Yes, exactly, yes. So what's our mission? It's to increase the ability of IFPSM's network of member organisations to connect and collaborate, thereby enabling them to be more effective in serving our members and then profession, title, the profession. So IFPSM is a prime example of one of our IFPSM leading association members. Today is a prime example of how together, led by IFPSM and with my, I hope, support and my fellow board members' support, that we are enabling and facilitating discussion and sharing. And again, I believe that the Deputy Minister's comments and the MOUs that have just been signed indicate very strongly that your country is stepping forward and recognising the strategic benefits, and I really applaud you all for that. Strategic objectives, I can see people are beginning to nod off now, and he's talking about the mission and he's talking about objectives, so let's move on. You can see what they are. IFPSM is a not-for-profit, just in case you have there's any doubt in that. We are not here for commercial return. We'd like to have some more income, please, but we're not driven by our shareholders. We're a not-for-profit organisation, which means that we can do things for the right motivation. We operate regionally. I'm based in the UK, but that's only because I live in the UK. Previous individuals who held my role haven't always lived in the UK. But I'm not moving out of the UK because I've lived there all my life. I'm a classic Scot, because I'm actually from Scotland, but I've lived more of my life in England. An awful lot of Scots live in England and then complain about the English, but that's another story for another time. So we have 4 regions: Americas, Africa, Asia and Europe, and we have got a regional vice president for each of those 4 regions. And as I mentioned earlier, your regional vice president for the Asia Pacific region is Mr. Akina. We facilitate networking. So the regions come together on a regular basis. In fact, only yesterday, the Asia Pacific region were hosted by MIPMM and Mr. Yang. We held our regional meeting here yesterday. So we come together face to face, we come together through virtual activities, and the whole purpose is to share and to cooperate and learn from each other, so that we can go back to our own countries, back to our own associations, and provide that information, that knowledge back to you, the individuals, who are the profession, who are the ones who can make the MOUs and the government strategies actually happen by working together and by learning from each other. We also work with academia. There's an organisation called IFPSM. I won't ask how many people have heard of IFPSM because I think I'll get no hands. Perhaps I should ask the Chancellor of the University if she's heard of IFPSM, but I won't ask that question because that would be putting her in a difficult position. So IFPSM is, if you like, the equivalent of IFPSM, but IFPSM represents universities who are active in procurement and supply management across the world. So they're a natural partner to IFPSM, because they actually can work with us and we can work with them. We can actually provide them access to the practitioners, and they can provide practitioner access to their research. And that partnership can allow us to actually ensure the profession continues to grow and becomes more and more valuable. So we partner and work a lot with IFPSM. I'm actually giving up my notes now, feeling more confident. One of the activities that we do with IFPSM is a summer school. And the summer school is where we offer the opportunities for individuals who are studying for a PhD in procurement and supply management to come together with fellow students from across the world and have one-to-one coaching and mentoring sessions with senior academics from again across the world. And because it's a not-for-profit event, then the cost of the student is kept to the minimum because there's no margin required. So I would encourage if any of you in this room are considering to take more qualifications, perhaps building the qualifications you've got already, and have aspirations to take a PhD, to visit the IFPSM website and look at the summer school, because it's a fantastic opportunity, and again, quite new. We also offer awards and we recognise individuals globally. Typically, there's opportunities for you when you all become members of MIPMM later on today. I'm sure you've got some cash with you, perhaps some cheques. Then you may well be able to be identified through your membership of your own national association as people who have done significant contributions to the profession within your country. MIPMM can then put your nomination forward for a global award. Really come to the end of the first section, which is our World Summit. Our World Summit is our flagship event. It only happens once every 2 years. And it brings together the profession. It's a major, major event in the calendar of the profession globally. It brings together practitioners, it brings together association executives, it brings together international speakers, and it provides a forum where the profession can look back, consider where it is, and look forward and work together to deliver a better and more effective profession for the benefit of organisations, for the benefit of national countries, and dare I say, humanity, because actually the power of strategic procurement can make a significant positive effect on humanity. And everybody in this room has the power to contribute to that. And that's either incredibly exciting or very frightening, or probably a bit of both. But you guys in this room have got a major role in developing the world. You want to chunk that down and think, well, actually my day job is, I've got to get the best price for a pencil, but actually it's much more than that. And you have the responsibility as a member of our profession to champion the true benefits of our profession. Let's show you a very short video of our last World Summit.
International Federation of Purchasing and Supply Management is a federation of associations around the world that work in the fields of purchasing and supply. And altogether, we represent about 250,000 practitioners around the world. It's a very important vehicle for us to be continuing to advance supply chain management and procurement as a profession.
We organize a World Summit every 2 years. The theme is actually unlocking the potential of members and memberships within the IFPSM fraternity framework.
The World Summit is one of the key value-added and tangible benefits that IFPSM offers to its members. What we try to do with the conference each year is have a mix of making sure that our member institutes are learning about trends in the field of practice, but then there's also a number of practical workshops on how you become better at certain aspects of managing an association.
It's a good place for all the professionals to get together and learn together.
It was really good because it actually had wide varied topics, especially the area that I really liked was the global trend and the mega trends, because that really gives you what's happening around us, and that really helps us to, plan our future.
If you look at the level of interaction that's occurring, if you look at the excitement that you bring, people come along to this, wanting to participate, wanting to ask questions.
It's also one of the value propositions for IFPSM to its association members, but also to individual members. I do not think that there is an equivalent to such an event, nor can you substitute it.
IFPSM is really a very good platform for all the members to work together.
Actually, by being associated with a professional body, we will be able to actually fulfill that need to network and share best practices, get ideas from the membership in the institute, and that will really help us to progress in our career.
I think that you can only grow a profession by participating and giving something back. And I think what you see here at an association event like this is people giving something back to the profession.
So, good news, that was last year. That was in Barcelona. Next year, it's in your region, it's in Taiwan, which is 4-hour flight, Steve? 4.5 hours. 4.5 hour flight, but a lovely flight. How many people have been to Taiwan? Come on now, team. You're definitely not giving any feedback here. How many people have been to Taiwan? How exciting is that? That means there's at least 50 people who could come to Taiwan next year. Absolutely. So, great opportunity. It only happens once every 2 years. So this leads me on to the second part. How am I doing for time? Can anybody give me an idea? Am I overrunning? Am I okay? Okay? All right. Or do you want me to get off? Do you want me to finish now? I won't ask that question. So, IFPSM Global Standards, certification. How many people actually have got a certification in procurement supply management in this room? Okay. How many people want to be certified as a professional in procurement supply management? Now, is that just Malaysian culture that you really don't want to put your hands up? Is that what it is?
After when you go down, they are all with you.
Yeah? Okay. I think to be a professional, part of the definition of being a professional is that you are qualified, you are certified in the chosen field that you want to work in. So, I'm sure there are many people with qualifications, certification qualifications. I'm from the UK, I use the word qualification. What is it in Malaysia? Is it qualification or certification? Certification, okay. So, many of you will hold, will have certified, have gone through a university or a
polytechnic or taken a degree or diploma or some form of examination. And it sounds to me that through the MOU, and certainly the ambition and the strategy of your government, that actually there will be more requirements for people who operate within procurement supply management to be certified, and to make sure that not only do they take a certification program, but they continue to develop their knowledge and understanding. I'm a very old man. It's many decades since I went to college. Now, if I hadn't kept learning and kept refreshing my knowledge, I'd be very much out of date. You might think I already am. But it's not just being qualified or taking a certification. You have to do continuous professional development to keep your knowledge relevant. IFPSM do not offer certification programs. We're here to support our member associations, such as IFPSM, who deliver either as an organisation or sometimes in partnership with other organisations, sometimes in partnership with universities. They develop and deliver educational programs, some of which lead to a certification, some of which don't lead to a certification. So IFPSM's role is to support the development of those educational programs through assessing the quality of those programs. Because our profession is growing so quickly on a global scale, we have a challenge because some education programs are of variable quality. And how do the students, the individuals who take those programs, know that they're taking the right program and the quality of the program is at equal standard? I'd like to come back to that picture because another colleague of IFPSM is here, Grace from Hong Kong. Hello, Grace. I'll just go back to that. And the reason Grace is on this slide is that her university, IVE in Hong Kong, are one of the most recent winners of our accreditation, which I'm going to talk about. So just recognise Grace for a second before I move on. So one of the standards that IFPSM has developed to allow us to accredit and assess the quality of educational programs is called the Global Standard. The IFPSM Global Standard has been developed by an independent selection of experts from across the world, typically leading senior academics and leading senior professionals. They came together a number of years ago and formed the Global Standard. And that was developed through identifying the best quality educational programs from across the world. It's independent, so I have no role in this. I support them, but I don't have a voice. And that's key, because they're not influenced by any outside organisation, which might mean that the standard is less rigorous. So the process is, and I know, because Mr. Yang said yesterday, that there's an aspiration that the programme that they're developing, that the MOU was written and signed today, will apply to be externally assessed and verified, hopefully next year, by our international global standard. Now, what does that mean to you? What it means to you is that when you decide to actually enter or extend your education and you decide to take the MIPNN programme, you will be given reassurance that that programme has reached the global standard. So that's an IFPSM initiative there to drive standards up. You may remember that at the start, when I was trying to describe what IFPSM is here to do, it's here to support the development of the profession. The profession doesn't have access to high quality and externally assessed educational programs, then the profession will continue to evolve. The organisation and the programme that achieves the global standard is awarded a certificate like this, and also the individual who takes that programme can receive an IFPSM certificate recognising their achievement, which is something that's really, really useful for the individual as they move through their career. We have recently introduced a second standard. The global standard is for educational programmes at the highest educational level, degree level. But there are many, many other programs and courses which actually are designed for people who are perhaps just starting their career, who want perhaps a specific element